This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Friday, the 17th day of February in the year 2023. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. As the curtains came down today on the 2023 International Energy Conference and Expo, the event is being dubbed a major success by the government, with the Finance Minister, Dr. Ashni Singh, indicating that it created a window of opportunities for local, regional, and international businesses and investors to connect and even partner in the field of energy. The Energy Conference saw close to 1,000 delegates in attendance and more than 200 exhibitors on show. During a closing panel at a Marriott Hotel, Minister Singh said the conference and expo not only brought together heads of government policymakers, academics, and industry professionals, but also businesses, entrepreneurs, and investors who were presented with the ideal opportunity to network and explore opportunities for development within the energy sector.
The Expo presented a fantastic opportunity to showcase the rapidly changing face of the private sector of Guyana, because you had not only the traditional big names and the traditional big players who you would expect to be there, but you saw a number of very interesting, a number of companies, some of which are completely new, some are local, some are regional, some are international. Being able to communicate, to convey here again to this audience and a much wider audience, what they are already doing in Guyana and with Guyana.
The minister responsible for finance pointed out that the 4-day energy conference and the expo attracted energy giants like ExxonMobil and Hess Corporation, as well as new entrants to the market, and created a platform for them to advance their businesses.
A lot of people clearly took advantage of the opportunity to introduce themselves to potential partners, potential clients, potential customers. And I would want also to characterize that as an extremely positive thing. I know that many people met new counterparts for the first time. They were able to introduce themselves, talk about what they're doing, explore possible opportunities for partnerships. And I think the conference, and in particular the activities on the margins of the conference, whether it was the coffee breaks, or the receptions that were held in the evenings, or the privately arranged bilateral contacts that people engage in, I think that was also a hugely successful stream of engagement.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Natural Resources, Vikram Bharat, also applauded the organizers behind the International Energy Conference. He dubbed it one of the biggest energy conferences in Latin America and the Caribbean. He said that he was pleased to see local companies rising to the bar and competing with regional and international companies in the energy sector. The minister said he too was happy with the focus on clean and affordable energy.
We have no issue with that as a country. We are fully committed to achieving that, to working towards achieving that. But the big question is, how are we going to truly finance that? Renewables cost money. Moving to net zero costs money. Cutting emission costs money. So how are we going to truly achieve that? If we're going to sit by and wait and help to come our way, we might be waiting for a long time. So it speaks towards Guyana as a country sustainably and responsibly exploring and developing its natural resources. At the same time, we are maintaining our environmental credentials.
And referencing to the need for a balanced and efficient energy mix, Minister Barrett also stated that developing countries such as Guyana should be at the forefront of the supply chain.
And we strongly believe that fossil will not disappear completely. They will still remain, even if there's a small demand for fossil, it will still be there. The need for it will still be there. But the big question is, who will be able to supply that?
Barrett said that developed countries have long exploited their resources for their own development, and developing countries should be given the opportunity to do the same. More news coming up in just a moment.
It's been a long time coming. Overdue, some might say. But now that it's here, it will change life forever. And it is here to stay. The future is now. Transforming Guyana into the 21st century. Introducing GTT Fiber. Experience internet connectivity like never before. Speeds you deserve at prices you can afford from a name you can trust. Sign up today. GTT Fiber is here. GTT. Together, we rise faster.
Giftland Office Max, we're all about customer satisfaction. Whether it's clothing and shoes for the ladies, gents, and kids, or for the latest electronics or hardware appliance, we're always thinking of satisfying you, our dear customers. Now you can shop online at www.giftlandofficemax.com or visit us at the Giftland Mall, where we're happy to serve each and every one of you.
Fina, how you could get yarning on today's pension day?
I collect my pension and went to the market since the 23rd.
How you mean?
I tell you, Levy switched to lodgement. Since me last book finished, I switched.
You join up a lodge, was this lodgement?
The NIS lodgement system allows pensioners to get their pension into their bank account. The money is paid into the account by the 23rd of the month, so you could withdraw it whenever you like.
So wait, I ain't got to join no long line. Why you ain't tell me before?
Told you clear. When you go to submit your life certificate, ask them for the allotment application form. When you complete it and the bank verify it, then NIS is going to process it. After they process it, your money will be in your account.
Well, all right, I going there now.
And don't forget, when you're carrying your life certificate, ask them for the lodgement application form.
For further information, please visit the website at www.nis.org.gy, the National Insurance Scheme Facebook page, or your nearest NIS office.
Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
Strong and solid in countries far and wide. New India Assurance, we're standing by your side. Golden service, half a century and more. New India Assurance, our policies are secure. From the heart of India, we serve these islands. The strength that you can trust, you're safe when you come to us.
New India Assurance Company. Assurance when you need it most.
For your home, motor or business insurance, visit New India Guyana office, 58 Brickdam next to Star Computers. Telephone 2260-415-7. Comfortable parking available.
In neighboring Suriname, hundreds of demonstrators stormed Suriname's parliament, broke windows and looted nearby businesses today to protest high fuel and electricity prices in the South American nation. Protesters in the capital of Paramaribo overwhelmed the police, who had fired tear gas to try to control the crowd. It was not immediately clear if there were injuries in the melee. The protesters demanded the resignation of President Shan Santoki, who recently ended the state's subsidies for fuel and electricity on the recommendation of the International Monetary Fund. Demonstrators were also upset about inflation in the prices of other basic goods and the weakening of the Surinamese dollar. Authorities condemned the attack and said those responsible will be brought to justice. In a statement, the government of Suriname said the government respects everyone's right to protest, but will not tolerate actions like the ones that took place today. At least 2 labor unions called for strikes that prompted banks, ports, and schools to shut down today. The protests in the capital ended this afternoon, with calm returning to the streets. The change in subsidies policy also has led to turmoil within the government. On Wednesday, members of the Suriname National Party withdrew from the ruling coalition of Santoki, who is from the Progressive Reform Party. Protesters on Friday also were demanding the resignation of the country's vice president. Following a meeting with CARICOM leaders in the Bahamas, Prime Minister of Canada Justin Trudeau announced that his government will be providing key financial and military support to Haiti to bring the security and humanitarian crisis in the French-speaking CARICOM nation under control. During a press conference last evening on the sidelines of the 44th regular meeting of CARICOM heads of government, the Canadian Prime Minister said the situation in Haiti is at a crisis level.
And we will continue to be there to provide assistance in the best ways possible, alongside partners in the region and around the world. We continue to empower the Haitian National Police and provide them with equipment and tools that they need.
Back in January, the Canadian military landed in Port-au-Prince and delivered several armored vehicles to the Haitian National Police. Another shipment of armored vehicles will be made in the coming days.
We will also be deploying Royal Canadian Navy vessels off the Haitian coast to help stabilize the situation and support national authorities, and to address security concerns throughout the region and help stop human trafficking and the flow of drugs and weapons. We announced $1.8 million to strengthen border and maritime security across the Caribbean.
And with the Caribbean region remaining vulnerable to the threat of climate change, the Canadian government has plugged another $45 million in funding to support disaster preparedness in the region.
Today, we are announcing almost $45 million in new funding to support regional organizations that will improve disaster preparedness and climate resilience and support nature-based solutions to climate change while protecting biodiversity in the Caribbean.
The Prime Minister of Canada said his country sees the Caribbean region as a strategic partner and will continue to work with the region to ensure its prosperity. The Minister of Local Government, Nigel Dharamlal, has written to the Chairman of the Elections Commission appointing Monday the 12th of June as the date for the conduct of local government elections here in Guyana. The new date follows the announcement by GCOM of its new work plan, which would make it ready to host the elections by the end of May. The Elections Commission recently announced that it is moving ahead with that work plan. It is reminding political parties, groups, and individuals seeking to contest the local elections that they have up until the 1st of March to submit their symbols for the elections. GCOM said contestants should submit those symbols to the GCOM High Street office, and those who reside in outlying areas should submit the symbols to the GCOM registration office in their community. GCOM has warned that any list of candidates submitted by a political party, voluntary group, or individual candidate on nomination day without the pre-approved symbol will be deemed defective, and the defaulting political party, voluntary group, or individual candidate will be deemed ineligible to contest the local elections. Over $1 billion has already been allocated to the Elections Commission in this year's budget for the hosting of the local government polls.
The Guyana Revenue Authority wishes to notify all lending and licensed financial institutions of their obligation to submit their annual statement, commonly called Form 3. This statement should be submitted to the GRA on or before February 28, 2023. Remember, the submission of your annual statement is critical to the verification and payment of mortgage interest relief refund to taxpayers. Don't be late. Submit your annual statement before the due date. For more information, please contact our Tax Advisory Services section on 227-6060, extension 8000. GRA, your partner in development.
Mobil 1 is more than oil. It's many oils. It transforms at the molecular level. When cold, it's thicker than honey. When hot, it's thinner than water. Mobil 1 adapts and readapts to last longer. 16,000 kilometers between oil changes. That's your engine evolved.
Sol Guyana is the authorized distributor of Mobil lubricants.
The Ministry of Education's Children Mashamani Costume and Float Parade returns on Saturday, February the 18th, 2023. Come out in your numbers and have fun with the children as they celebrate Mashamani 2023. The starting point will be at the parade ground, Georgetown, and then we head east on Middle Street, north onto Camp Street, and all the way to Everest Cricket Ground. This event is sponsored exclusively by Malta Supreme, Rainforest Waters, Icy, Demico Ice Cream, Trickets, and Vitamol. Come out and let's mix and mash as one Guyana.
I am 592. I am 592. Anson Mini Mart is now open to serve your everyday wants and needs. Our experienced pharmacists will help you feel your best, ensuring you bring home everything you need. We guarantee you will come back for everything you want. Our team is friendly. Our shelves are stocked and ready. Hassle-free shopping for your busy life. Anson Mini Mart, everyday shopping made easy. From our home to yours. Anson Mini Mart is now open to serve you. Call 220-0505 or check out our Anson Macau Guyana Facebook page for more details.
Well, following the announcement by the Guyana government that it will be contributing $100,000 towards the relief efforts in Turkey and Syria, which have been hit by a catastrophic earthquake, the government is coming in for high praise from the United Nations for that contribution. Over 40,000 people lost their lives in the earthquake and hundreds of thousands have been left displaced. In a statement last evening, the UN Resident Coordinator Yesmik Orup thanked the Guyana government for its contribution, saying that she was personally moved by the government's intervention. She said the earthquakes claimed over 40,000 lives in the two countries and millions of people need humanitarian assistance, especially children. The local UN representatives said the contribution is a decisive demonstration of Guyana's commitment to global solidarity as a principle of international relations and peace, and to end human suffering everywhere. She said the government of Guyana has chosen to provide its assistance through the UN, responding to the UN Secretary General's appeals. The official said further the contribution made by President Ali on behalf of the people of Guyana gives a tangible shape and volume to the thoughtfulness, kindness, and the many acts of solidarity which she has witnessed since being present in Guyana. The Amerindian People's Association is firing back tonight at Vice President Barra Jagdeo over what it saw as an attack on the association by the Vice President while he addressed Tushals and other indigenous leaders at the Ordachang Convention Center earlier this week. In a statement this afternoon, the APA said the Vice President's verification of the APA is a continuation of the attacks by his Minister of Local Government, Nigel Dharamlal. The APA said it remains resolute in its objective of ensuring that indigenous people's rights are protected and respected by all. The organization said it wonders why it is being used as a scapegoat and distraction and why the real issues are not being addressed. The organization said Vice President Jagdeo, like his cabinet colleague Minister Dharamlal, repeatedly accused the organization of being in bed with the APNU. The APA said it is a politically neutral organization and has noted the intended vulgarity of the descriptions and has urged national leaders to treat their offices with due decorum. The organization said it wishes to again inform the public that the organization has consistently encouraged support for the indigenous peoples of Guyana, but remains firm that the principles of free, prior, and informed consent must apply when engaging indigenous communities. In that regard, the organization said it observed that the Vice President has recognized the APA's consistent calls for FPIC and encouraged him to heed those calls. The APA also said it wants to remind the Vice President that all of its suggestions at the level of the Low Carbon Development Strategy were shot down. The organization said Governance and Rights Coordinator of the APA, Laura George, represents the APA on that committee and has made representations for indigenous peoples and leaders to be properly included in the decision-making process. Police on the Essequibo coast arrested a 40-year-old woman during a search of her home after she handed over a quantity of cocaine to them on Thursday. A police statement said a party of ranks went to the Bounty Hall home of Brenda Charles on Thursday afternoon after the police received information that she was involved in cocaine trafficking. During a search of the property, the woman pulled out a plate with small packages of cocaine from under a chair and handed it over to the police. She also handed over another quantity of cocaine and other packages that were stored in another section of the house. She took full ownership of the cocaine that weighed a total of 451 grams and claimed that she purchased it from a man but offered no other information on her alleged supplier. She was immediately arrested and taken to the Regina station. She appeared in court today where she pleaded guilty to the crime and was sentenced to 4 years in jail.
Anson Mini Mart is now open to serve your everyday wants and needs. Our experienced pharmacists will help you feel your best, ensuring you bring home everything you need. We guarantee you will come back for everything you want. Our team is friendly. Our shelves are stocked and ready. Hassle-free shopping for your busy life. Anson Mini Mart, everyday shopping made easy. From our home to yours. Anson Mini Mart is now open to serve you. Call 220-0505 or check our Anson Macau Guyana Facebook page for more details.
Food Max Supermarket, located on the ground floor of the Giftland Mall, is your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. We stock a variety of imported frozen meat and food products, fresh produce, and pet supplies, freshly made bread. Rotisserie chicken and patties are also available daily. Shop in comfort today at Food Max and let our courteous staff assist you in satisfying your shopping needs. Food Max, the fresh food specialist.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Across the region tonight, Jamaica's anti-corruption agency has announced that the Prime Minister will not face any charges after it investigated a possible conflict of interest around government contracts awarded to a construction company between 2006 and 2009. The chief of the Integrity Commission said its leadership had ruled that no charges will be brought against the Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, for allegations that he recommended contracts with Westcon Construction Limited. In a letter to the Parliament, Commission leaders noted that the investigation had failed to either contradict or provide more evidence in support of the offences pertaining to the Prime Minister, meaning no criminal charges can be laid. The Integrity Commission this week released a special 107-page report outlining that it would investigate the claims against Holness, noting that two Westcon directors were known to Holness for more than 20 years and shared business links. Holness said he strongly disagreed with the findings of the Integrity Commission regarding conflict of interest based on mere associations. The Prime Minister's office has declined to comment on the latest development in Jamaica. Colombia and Venezuela have signed an agreement to revive trade between the two countries during a ceremony on a border bridge at which Colombia's President Gustavo Petro and Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro both signed. The deal updates everything having to do with tariffs with goods traded and lays the foundation for a new dynamic for the expansion of trade between Colombia and Venezuela. That's according to the Venezuelan president. Diplomatic and trade relations began a process of normalization in September of last year, after the Colombian president was inaugurated in Bogota last August. He pledged during his campaign to normalize diplomatic relations with the government in Caracas. The Colombian leader said the border between the two countries had long fell into the hands of mafia groups who immersed in conflict and illegal economies and made the border their domain. In January, he traveled to Caracas to meet with Maduro. They discussed trade along with peace talks between Petro's government and the National Liberation Army rebel group. Venezuela is a guarantor of the peace talks with the ELN, and first round of renewed negotiations between Colombia and the rebel group took place in Caracas last year. And finally tonight, international news. In Pakistan, police in Karachi say they have retaken their headquarters after it was attacked by the Pakistani Taliban. Security forces regained control after several hours and killed all 3 militants, a government spokesman announced. 3 police officers and a civilian were killed in the attack. Witnesses reported hearing a huge explosion from inside the police station, which houses some of the city's most senior officers, following smaller blasts and gunfire. Some reports say the attackers were wearing police uniforms. Deputy Inspector General Irfan Balak told the Reuters news agency that up to 30 officers could have been inside at the time of the attack. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight and this week. I am Gordon Mosley, reporting and encouraging you to have a safe and enjoyable weekend.